Hey everybody, Doye here with another Dragonball FighterZ video. This time covering a lot of the terms that you'll hear on both this channel and a lot of other places where Dragonball FighterZ content is covered. I want to thank YouTube user Rayman's Blunt for the idea for this video. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but sometimes when you're involved with something for so long, you kind of forget how important the basics are. With that said, let's begin with some basic terms that you'll hear in most, if not all, fighting games. A low is a normal or special move that has to be blocked crouching. This means that in order to block these moves, you have to hold down back instead of just back. To beat someone that's blocking low, you can hit them with an overhead, which is a move that connects even if the opponent is blocking by holding down back. Overheads won't connect on a person just holding back to block, so remember to stay on your toes when you're playing defense. There's also something called an unblockable, which as per the name implies, cannot be blocked no matter what you do. For obvious reasons, these are pretty rare to find in fighting games, but I think it's important to know just in case there are some unblockable setups that are found in Dragonball FighterZ. While Dragonball FighterZ doesn't have your standard throw or grab system, it does still have command grabs, such as Beerus's level 3 super. So if you know someone wants to land a command grab super on you, make sure to jump or backdash to avoid the grab and then punish them with a full combo. Speaking of combos, let's start defining words that describe what happens when a move connects. Let's start with a hard knockdown. These are attacks that put the enemy in a floored state, where they can only be struck with moves with an OTG property. OTG stands for off the ground, and normal or special moves with this property can hit opponents in a floored state. Much like a hard knockdown, a soft knockdown will also put the enemy in a floored state. Unlike the hard knockdown, however, you will have no time to hit the enemy with an OTG move, as they'll immediately be able to tech out of it. The next two terms are kind of self-explanatory, and that's ground bounce and wall bounce. Moves that have these properties can either make the opponent bounce off the ground or bounce off the wall. Both of these allow you to continue your combo. Most moves in a fighting game can be stopped by hitting the person performing the move before they complete it. Two move properties that don't follow this move are armored moves and counters. Armored moves are moves that can pass through a hit before they're stopped. So if you want to stop these by hitting them, you'll have to connect with at least two moves. The other move that disobeys this rule is called a counter, which are attacks that only trigger when they get hit. When speaking about Dragonball FighterZ, you'll see armored moves when you look at Nappa, and a lot of counters when you look at hit. These next terms don't really describe a property of a move, but they more describe an option that the player has when they're playing the game. These terms include mix-up, which is pressure that your opponent has a lot of difficulty defending against, and reset, which describes when you stop your combo on purpose so that you can mix up your opponent and put them into a new combo. The next three terms are used to describe where a character in the game best fits in terms of team composition. These terms are point characters, middle/pivot characters, and anchor characters. The simplest way to describe them would be that a point character doesn't need a lot of meter and makes pretty good use of assist. A middle character is someone with a good assist, but they don't rely or use assist as well as the point character. And an anchor character is someone who can cover a lot of situations by themselves without having to rely on assist. So obviously your anchor character is someone that you want alive when both of your other characters have fallen. The next half of this video is going to be spent covering numpad notation, which I know a lot of people really hate, and I'll fully admit that I used to be one of them. But love it or hate it, it really doesn't matter because a lot of the top anime players which are going to transition into this game and become the best players of this game as well, are going to be using numpad notation. And if you're going to want to steal their combos like I am, then you're going to want to be at least able to understand what they're saying. The good news is that numpad notation really isn't difficult to learn once you take a look at it. So here it is, this is numpad notation. Now don't let all these words and numbers confuse you. It's really as simple as picturing the number pad on your keyboard and converting that into the movements of your controller. So if you're holding forward, you would actually be holding 6, and if you're holding back, you would actually be holding 4. In numpad notation, in order to do a Kamehameha in this game, you would go 2, 3, and then 6, or roll it in a quarter circle forward motion. I know that trying to learn a combo while reading numpad notation is going to be super hard at first, but if you just keep practicing it and picturing your controller as a number pad, then you'll get better with it eventually. And I think that was everything I wanted to cover in today's video. If you have any more questions on any words that I might have missed out on, please feel free to ask in the comments below as I'll be down there. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, it would mean a lot if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.